Welcome back! We are officially 30 days into my 3D printing journey. If you've been following along, you know I've been obsessed with my Bambu Lab P1S. For this update, covering day 21 to 30, I decided to shift my focus. I wanted to see if I could stop printing desk toys and start printing practical, everyday items that solve real problems, all while keeping my filament waste to a minimum. In this video, I'll show you everything I made, why I made it, and a few massive struggles, including a clog that almost made me regret my life choices. Alright, I know I said day 21 was supposed to be practical, but I couldn't help myself. Since the Charizard evolution silhouette was my last video looked so good on my wall, I had to print the Blastoise version to match. This is a simple 2-color print using blue and black PLA. It took about an hour and a half and only used 35 grams of filament. The detail here is incredible. You can see the distinct outlines of Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise. Now that I have 2 out of the 3 starters, I'm on a mission to find the perfect green and yellow filament to finish Bulbasaur and Pikachu. If you have a favorite filament brand for those 2 specific Pokemon colors, let me know in the comments below. Day 22 is easily one of my most useful prints to date. My recliner has a built-in cup holder, which is great for sodas, but they're way too small for a large mug of tea. I found this cup holder expander and realized it was the perfect solution. It has a dedicated slot for the handle and even some notches to act as a phone stand, though I mostly just use it for my tea. Because I knew this would be holding hot liquids, I printed it in PETG so it wouldn't warp under the heat. I actually had to break out my calipers and take precise measurements of the recliner cup holder to customize the file so it would fit perfectly. It was a 3-hour print, but seeing it slide in with a perfect click made all that measuring worth it. Day 23 was supposed to be a fun test of my new SUNLU Rainbow Silk PLA. I printed this balancing bird, and while the two-tone shiny finish looks amazing and it balances on literally anything, this filament was a nightmare. It clogged my P1S 4 times in a single day. And I'm not talking about a simple nozzle clog, oh no. This stuff jammed the actual extruder gears. I had to tear down the entire assembly 4 times to clear it out. I suspect it's because the P1S is an enclosed printer and the silk PLA gets too soft in the heat, leading to the heat creep. Even after changing to the recommended settings, it kept happening, and if you're using a P1S, be careful with the silk PLA unless you leave the door open. For me, this spool is going in the back of the closet. Not worth the headache. On day 24, I needed a secure hairpin. I went with this Queen of Hearts twist design because it holds better than the standard stick ones. But here's the kicker. I printed the main body using the Bambu Lab support PLA that comes with the printer. I had no other use for it, and it was just taking up a slot in my AMS. Now, you aren't really supposed to print full models with support materials, but I wanted to experiment. It came out a bit rough and I had a weird smell while printing. But after some heavy sanding, it's smooth and surprisingly strong. I used that same troublemaker rainbow filament for the heart in the center, and since it was a short print, it didn't clog this time. I'm proud of this one. It's a great example of using every bit of plastic you have. Day 25 was all about efficiency. There are hundreds of over-engineered toothpaste squeezers online with gears and handles, but I went with the simplest slide-on design I could find. It prints in minutes and uses almost no filament. I know some of you were probably hoping I'd squeeze a whole tube of toothpaste out just for the camera, but we aren't about that wasteful life. It works, it's practical, and it saves me from fighting with the tube every morning. Day 26 was a bit of a fail that I managed to save. I printed this folding heart box, but if you look closely, there's a small hole in the side. That's entirely my fault. I hadn't cleaned my build plate in a week, and I had a bed adhesion issue. However, this model is a foldable design. When I snap it all together, the hole was actually hidden by the overlapping layers. This would be an awesome way to gift jewelry or small items. It just goes to show even a bad print can be useful if the design is clever enough. For day 27, I tackled a mechanical build, a retractable blade tip cutter. This was a 3-piece print that actually includes a 3D printed spring mechanism. I choose a version that uses a single edge razor blade. It's so satisfying to use. You roll the tape out, push the slider up to engage the blade, and it cuts perfectly. I do wish I had a utility blade version for a wider cut, but for the tape I have, this is a total game changer for my shipping station. On day 28, I wanted to lean into some fandom. I printed a set of Naruto Sharingan fridge magnets. I printed these face down on the textured PEI plate, which gives them a really premium matte feel. The set includes the standard Sharingan, plus the Mangekyo Sharingan for Kakashi, Itachi, and Sasuke. I just hot glued some small magnets I had lying around to the back, and now my fridge looks like the Hidden Leaf Village scroll. These were low filament, high reward prints that look great in any room. Day 29 was a practical experiment. I printed some 3D printed zip ties in PETG. I wanted to see if they could actually replace store-bought ones in a pinch. Surprisingly, they are incredibly strong. While they don't have the metal lock-in teeth of high-end zip ties, for light to medium use, they are a total viable option. If it's 2 AM and the stores are closed and you just need to manage some cables, your 3D printer has your back. And finally, day 30. Ever since I printed that satisfying fabric on day 18, I wanted to try NASA-style chainmail as jewelry. I printed this bracelet, and the engineering here is mind-blowing. The clasp is so seamless that I sometimes struggle to find where it starts so I can take it off. I customized the length to fit my wrist perfectly. It's flexible, it looks like metal, and it's a great conversation piece. That wraps up the first 30 days of my 3D printing journey. We've gone from Pokemon silhouettes to fixing my cup holders and surviving the clog of 2026. I'm using a lot of SUNLU PETG lately, which I've linked below, along with all the models from today's video. If you enjoyed this update, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the day 40 update. Let me know in the comments, which of these was your favorite, or what should I attempt to print next? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next 10 days. Bye!